Good, how are you?
Corey.
Hello.
Everybody.
Hello.
Megan. Yeah, Camilla, I don't know why your email address was not letting me send it. It kept kicking back, but then it worked today. So
Yeah, I noticed there was an issue with it, so I figured it out, and
yeah.
it's fine now.
Oh, good. Okay, so
Yeah.
I wasn't like losing it. Oh.
No, you were not.
You sure about that, Corey?
Well, now don't ask my family.
All right, we're all here, so let's jump in. It is 5:35 on Thursday, February 2nd, 2023. And I call to order this meeting of the Taxation A Committee. In keeping with an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021. This meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. To use Zoom, you will need to use the link on the agenda or download the Zoom app at zoom.us and create an account, or use one of the call-in numbers listed on the agenda. You will need the webinar ID to join by phone only. While conducting meetings remotely, we will endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to our standard procedures as possible. However, use of this platform will necessitate some additional protocols. While board members and applicants will be on video and audio, public participants will join the webinar as attendee, meaning they are muted with no video feed from them. During the public testimony portion, meeting members of the meeting, members of the public can be recognized by using the raise hand function found on participants from Zoom, or make a request with the Q&A function. If you're joining by phone only, you can press *9 to raise your hand. If an applicant wishes to display materials, please make the request of the chair and email materials to the board staff for on-screen sharing. When starting testimony, please state your name.
You froze. If you can hear me, Andrew.
I can't hear you, yeah.
Okay, now you're back.
Yeah, I'm afraid this may happen today. I've been on the phone with Comcast all day, so. There's a markup function in Zoom which will allow you to call out specific areas of presentation materials. As in any public meeting, indecent behavior will not be tolerated, and anyone who abuses the use of the meeting platform will be terminated from the meeting. Business will be handled at all times as indicated on the agenda. Business not concluded at the allotted time will be tabled to the end of the meeting to allow for timely logins and remote attendance. Board members are asked to announce themselves when making a motion and second, so that it be clear to the audience and the minute takers who made the motions. All votes will be by roll call. When all business indicated on the agenda has been completed, the members will vote to adjourn the meeting, signaling the end of the meeting and the termination of the ECAT recording. All participants will be disconnected from the webinar at that time. Applicants will join the webinar as attendee and be promoted to panelists as their agenda item comes up. Applicants will then be able to share their screens and present materials as much as possible. Presentation materials should be provided beforehand and loaded into Permadize so that they can be included on the public record. Individual board chairs and staff may wish to keep sharing to their computers. Applicants are encouraged to speak with staff prior to the meeting on how material will be presented. All right. So the first item on the agenda in the public meeting portion is to approve the minutes from our prior meetings. I just have a question. Corey, don't we need minutes from the executive sessions as well?
No, so those minutes are taken and like held securely, not posted publicly. So they wouldn't be discussed, if they were to be discussed, they wouldn't be discussed here. And they mostly just consist of the names and approval,
Yeah.
unanimous. I can definitely share them with you, but that would also have to be in an executive session. And unfortunately, it can't be tonight. I have them at my office. But the guidance was to basically make the minutes and save them in a secure location off of public servers, and they can be destroyed when everything's been decided, basically, or they can be, I forget what it is. It's like they can be destroyed or they can be shared, I guess, once it's over. Like once the content, which would be deciding who's eligible, it would be available at that point.
So do we not need to vote on them to approve them?
I can find out the absolutely correct answer to that, but it would make sense that we would. Does anyone else, Linda, do you have any information on this? Or Ray, how do you guys do executive session minutes?
I myself, Ray, I'm not familiar with it totally, so I'd be out of that equation. I'm not sure what.
Okay,
I think
I'll find out.
Yeah, find out.
I'll find out. I know they don't get posted, so it's just an internal thing for us.
Okay,
So I'll find out, let you guys know.
sounds good. So we have 3 sets of minutes to approve from 10/6, 2022, and then January 3rd and January 5th of 2023. If someone would like to make a motion.
I Ray will make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Seconded by Megan, and since we're on Zoom, we're gonna do roll call again. So I'm gonna go in the order of the little squares here on the TV. All those in favor of approving these minutes, Andrew Fleischer, aye.
Megan Ferguson, aye.
Amanda,
Ray,
aye.
Ray Morel, aye.
And Linda,
Is she there?
I haven't seen her. I just see like a blurred out.
I see the box, but I don't hear from her.
Yeah,
Okay, so the motion passes 4-0 and 1. So next on the item, the next is to discuss the timeline for supplemental round of applications. So this would be something where we would kind of need Linda's input, but what I was hoping to decide is really when we would meet again to either discuss. I don't know if we would want to change any of the items on the application other than the fact that you can provide your the 2022 tax return. Because the idea here was that after tonight, we're going to have leftover funds for the 2023 tax year, so that people who applied and were denied, they could reapply with their most recent tax returns. And then if there was anybody that we missed, they could also apply. I don't know how many people we will get, considering that we did reached out to everybody that we could the first time around. But if we can, the money will not roll forward. So if we can distribute it in 2023, we should. Linda, are you there, or are you having issues?
she's having an issue.
She's having an issue.
I think, we need that input from Linda as to the people that we asked for more information from. And
We have that.
even discuss that,
So we have that. We'll be.
Oh, we do? Okay. Okay, we'll discuss that in an executive session, but
Yeah, so this is, we
we don't
can,
know how much money is left because we don't know who's, giving us the support documents that we needed.
so either way. Yeah, it is kind of backwards, but we do need, like, this, the reason why I'm doing this first is because we need to discuss items like this in open session.
Okay,
You know, because it's not anything that's confidential. So, but I do need Linda's input as far as like a timeline, because, we're trying to work this around her schedule with the bills and everything.
mhm.
So we can, let's table it for now.
Yeah, just see if she can figure out what's going on with her audio and
Yeah.
screen.
Do you know if she's trying to get in? Does anybody know that?
I keep seeing her pop up.
I
Here.
keep seeing her pop up like in sort of a blurred blackish
Never.
screen.
I have her again. Let's try this one more time. Okay, she's rejoining as a panelist. Linda, can you hear us? All right. So it appears we're still having the same issue. Okay. So this is fun, but yeah, I guess we can put out another meeting. We can talk about when we want to meet next, when we get a chance to talk to Linda, and we can put out another meeting in the spring. That would be relatively quick to just discuss a timeline of applications and how we want to reach out to applicants. So I was trying to do that discussion in advance so that we wouldn't have to just meet in another 2 months for a half hour, but maybe it's just best we discuss that at a later time. All right, so the next item on the agenda, I feel all of this will be tough without Linda. The next item on the agenda is to discuss the account balance and fundraising. So I wanted to bring to the attention of the committee something. So with the fundraising, it appears that because I was preparing the annual report and I asked Linda for the account balance. All right, here she is trying to join again. Let's try this. Okay.
On my screen, it showed her signing off, so.
Yeah, she's back.
How's that? Am I there?
Yeah, you're there. Third time's the charm.
Sorry.
Hi, Linda.
I'm so sorry.
That's
I could
okay.
see that my screen was blank. In any event, we're still in a regular session, so want me to go back and revisit what we were talking about, which is the timing of applications. So, see, I could hear, I just couldn't, you couldn't hear me. So the people, we had declined to approve a certain number of people because we needed to know more about the adults living in their house. Those people, there's only 4 of them that responded, 4 out of, I think, 6 or 7 that responded, and I emailed everybody their updated information just a little while ago. The rest of them, I did give them until April, right after the taxes are due, April 27th, maybe. April. It was after April 15th. after April 15th, but before the end of April. For those people to submit their updated or calendar year 2022 tax returns, so that we could take into consideration that information, and then maybe give out a few more awards.
So I would want to keep the same timeline for those people as we would for the rest of the public. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get more applicants, but I would.
Okay,
It's not
Okay.
so giving people more time to resubmit their applications is not something that we discussed as a committee. What we discussed was another round.
yes,
So we didn't really, vote or talk about, and people who didn't respond or people that we would decline giving them more time. So I would my thought was that we would do that. It's fine that you went ahead and did that, I guess, but I just want to keep it consistent for everybody, because this is not just for the people who, this could be
Yes.
for other people that were voting no on, or have voted no on, or for other people who haven't even applied yet.
okay, I'm sorry, I had understood that we were giving a certain number of people an additional, a very short windowed opportunity to submit additional information about their situation, like Ken would. I don't suppose I should have said that out loud, but,
Okay. You're correct, Linda. I took the minutes last time, and that's what I remember putting down. It was like 7 days of window to,
yeah.
Yeah.
To sort of complete their application so that we could then make a determination right now out of this round of funding.
Yeah. So
and
that's
then there
correct.
were-
That's correct, but we didn't decide anything after that.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it wasn't, if you have until the end of January,
Yep,
and if you can't meet that, you have until April. We never discussed any of that.
okay,
We
okay,
decided 2 weeks until January,
Yep.
and we'd vote on it today. And
Okay.
then we would discuss a second round of applications.
okay, okay,
That was kind of it, because it's not just limited to these handful of people. Other people we denied, they could also reapply. So it's not just limited to these people. But
Correct.
I'm not. It's fine. We'll just extend that. I would like to extend that to everyone.
yes, yep,
That's all.
yep.
So, what day did you say? April 27th?
Let me find one, April 15th. Didn't give them much time, April 15th, they would have to apply. I think my feeling was they had, but I mean, that doesn't mean that a determination was going to be made immediately. I knew that we would be meeting later in the spring for the second round of this round,
Okay.
or for the additional applicants.
So, my thought would be, so you already notified them via letter, the people who didn't respond? So,
Yeah, and I can tell you who they are. They're on that old spreadsheet. They were the people who were denied because they were over income. And what I said was, if you'd like us to reconsider it, and I apologize if I misunderstood this, this is what I understood, that we were going to give them an opportunity to submit with their calendar year 2022 tax returns, acknowledging that what we were looking at was more than a year old.
Right.
And that we would reconsider that application once we had the 2022 returns.
yeah,
If they wanted us to, otherwise it's just denied.
Yeah, we can, and that's fine. I'm just trying to understand who you wrote letters to. So it would be everyone we voted no on last time and everyone who didn't respond.
everyone that we voted no on because they were over income.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
I thought it was, we had-
Or had we needed more information because perhaps they had adult children.
so we're discussing, yeah, there's
There's
kind
two
of
different
things
groups of
here.
people,
Yeah.
yeah. There were two different groups of people. There was a group of people that was maybe 7 people long that needed to clarify their living situation. And those people were given until the end of January to clarify their living situation. And then there was a group of people that were denied because they were over income. And in that denial letter, I said, you're over income, you're not approved. But if you want us to reconsider your application with calendar year 22 information, knowing that we still had funds available, get me that new information and we'll reconsider your application.
Okay,
Okay.
that's clear.
Yeah, and that's fine. I just want to understand that and
Yep.
and if you could please, well,
Do you want me to give you the
so,
list of
so
people?
let's,
Oh, well, in executive session, I can give you the list of people
yeah, an
who felt to
executive.
each side.
Yeah, that would be good. Let's talk about that. We can talk
Yep.
about the individuals in executive session.
Yep,
I guess something I would want to discuss is would we want to send letters to everybody we denied or just the people over income? I think over income is appropriate, because if we denied the person because they weren't listed as owners or something to that effect, that issue is not going to change. So
Right.
I kind of agree with what you're saying. I would also like to open it up to the public. Just in case there's somebody who walks into your office or
Yep.
Corey's office between now and April 15th. That way we can give them an opportunity. I don't foresee that there'd be a lot of people that would do that.
yeah,
Because I think they've probably already been in contact with you guys.
right. Yeah, it's kind of a shame, but I'm not sure how to go about sort of spending the rest of this money.
Yeah, we're handcuffed on the 14th. The only way we can spend more is with more
Right,
applicants.
right.
Well, what if it just gets opened up until the end of the fiscal year?
I think, well, I think that that's what we're discussing, and I think that that's perfectly fine. You know, I would suggest that we limit it, new applications to maybe a date of May 31st or something like that. Just so that we have time to actually meet, decide, and have me get the checks and apply them to their taxes. And really, at that point in time, everybody will have paid their taxes. It'll end up that they get a refund, and that's fine. That's in keeping with the intended use of this money, or the prescribed use of this money. This is direct aid to households impacted by COVID. That's where the funds are coming from. So,
I agree with Linda.
So do we want to keep April 15th as the deadline for people to supply us with that, or do we want to, at risk of confusing everything?
I see what you're saying. I would say no. These are people who submitted their applications. If they can't get us information by April 15th, and by April 15th, then that particular application is no longer in play, and I'll send them I won't send them a letter right away. I'll wait till I send out all the, letters at the end of everything saying either yes or no. But by April 15th, they'll have a good idea. Does that make sense? Or?
So we'll do essentially what you're proposing then is everyone who is denied because their income was too high will have an opportunity by April 15th, as stating your letter, to supply updated information, and then we can reconsider them. At the same time, I'd like to just do them all in one meeting. So at the same
Okay,
time,
yep,
at the same time, we can open it up to the public, perhaps with the date of the end of April, or the 15th to keep it consistent. I would prefer a little later because I sometimes file my taxes on the 15th. So,
yep, yep,
maybe a couple more weeks, and
Yep.
then we review it, May 1st or April 30th, whichever, and then we review it. Then we'll review it in mid-May and make a decision towards the end of May. Would that?
yeah. I think that makes sense. And there's no obligation to disperse the money by any set period of time. So if we don't disperse the money until the end of May, then that's, that's okay.
We're not gonna lose the money if it's not dispersed at a specific time.
Right, right. We just want to use it before June 30th.
Right.
All right, so how does it, so does anyone have any other thoughts on the timeline or on what we kind of laid out there? Before I put it in, we can put it in stone.
I agree with everything Linda said. I think it makes perfect sense.
All right, so
Giving
just,
everybody time.
all right, so just to recap, what we'll do then is we'll open it up. The people who want to correct their applications will have until April 15th to supply the information. Anyone in the public who would like to apply, we can do April 30th. And I don't know, I suppose we can just do some announcements on the website or through the town crier and things like that. But it's really more for Linda and Corey, for you guys to know what the days are. So-
It would even be okay if it was like May 15th or something, to Corey's point, the longer we can push it out, the better. Capture a couple more people. I don't know, maybe. And May 15th isn't so bad. People will be looking forward for their May installments, but worst comes to worst, they get a refund in the summer. It's not all bad.
Yeah, because I was just thinking to keep the public close with the people reapply or the people
Sure,
supplying
sure,
additional
yep.
information. Because so
Yep.
that they don't call and say, well, I gave you my tax return, it's been 2 months.
Right, right.
So, but doesn't matter to me either way. Hey, anybody care one way or the other?
I like Andrew's train of thought on that. Like, I just think that the closer we keep those two deadlines together, the easier it will be for the public to understand.
Okay,
Well, I know, Fred down the street did his after you gave me a deadline of April 15th, and now he has till May 15th. Why don't I have that, or whatever?
okay. So let's do, May 1st, because May 1st is a Monday. So we'll do April 15th for those buying additional information, and then May 1st for public, new applicants. And then we will meet, we can meet, I don't know how busy you are in May, Linda, to compile the information. It's gonna be a lot less than December. Do you think if we met in the middle of the month, that'll give you enough time?
Yeah, I think so, yep. May, let me just take a peek at my calendar here. Yeah, May is pretty good. Yep,
Okay, we can meet on May 18th. perhaps? If people want to look at their calendars.
Good for me anyways.
And try and do that in person. May 18th might be. I just got jury duty, and I think it might be May 18th. But I'll be home. I'll be home by then.
Come home early,
Yeah.
hopefully.
So does May 18th sound good with everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good here.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And
I'm
then we'll
excited any day.
I'm jealous, and we'll let people know in a timely manner after that.
Okay.
2 to 3 weeks, whatever it may be. All right, that sounds good. And I don't know, I think I'll try and do the social media posts and the and things like that, and update the website. But other than that, I don't think there's much public outreach to really be done. But if you guys know anybody who's concerned about their taxes, that would be the time. And
Yep.
hopefully there are a few people who become aware of it and can reapply or apply. All right, so the next item would be the account balance and fundraising. So I wanted to just mention this because I asked Linda for some numbers because we were putting it on an annual, I was going to put it on the annual report that we have to do on our committee. And I just noticed that last year our balance as a fund, I think went from around 6,000 at the start of the year, or 6,200. Linda, do you have the numbers in front of you?
I don't,
Hold on. So the gist of it is our fund only raised $500 last year. So I understand we had several other concerns, trying to get the ARPA funds going and things like that. But we only have about a year and a half left of ARPA money, and then we'll be reliant on the money in our fund. So $500 a year it's not going to cut it. So I wanted to just start brainstorming a way that we could fundraise or just have people think of it on their own. I don't have anything specific other than the fact that I'd like to send out, Linda, if there's time, I'd like to send out a flyer in the excise tax bills again.
yep. Yep, they're going out at the end of February.
Okay, so could we do that, and you could just use the same flyer we used before and just change the
Yep,
dates or anything that's on it?
yep.
But does anybody have, and I had another question too. So if we were to do some sort of fundraiser or some sort of awareness campaign, and are we able to receive cash if we were, at an event or something like that? I don't have the specifics, but just while we're thinking of what we could do, are we able to accept cash?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. I just would deposit it. Yeah, yes,
Like if we were somewhere and we had like a jar.
yes.
The simplest way of putting it.
Mhm, yes, yes.
Okay. So does anybody have any ideas or anything, any questions or anything that they think would be a good idea to raise money, other than the general just putting out
Andrew,
flyers? Yes.
Andrew, what do you mean by a fundraiser? How do you term that?
Well, so I have the example that was given to me was just a way to not, what, so we can't solicit funds from individuals, is what we were told at the beginning of this. Like I can't walk up to my neighbor and say, hey, give
No,
me
we
$50.
understand that.
But what I was thinking was some sort of event or an existing event. I'm less familiar with the town than you guys are. An existing event that we could do a fundraiser at, or we could, a public event where we could, that already exists, where we could go and do some sort of raffle or do some sort of awareness campaign or something like that. I had someone made me aware of what they do in the town of Sandwich for their taxation aid fund. And I thought this was kind of cool, and I don't know if it's possible, but they did a bocce tournament. So they did a bocce tournament, and we have behind the library is a beautiful bocce court.
There is.
Beautiful, gorgeous.
We have one at Frothingham too.
Yeah, and there's plenty of places with green space that you could do it, and you could charge people $20-25 to participate in the bocce tournament, and you could get donations from businesses as either a prize or as a raffle, and just do an event like that. That was what someone had told me, and I like the sound of that because I like yard games. But I'm just kind of trying to get people's brains thinking, because I think we are going to have to start doing things like this to get funds to keep the fund going.
Excuse me, I don't know the particulars, but I thought we got our funds from the state or the government. I thought that's where we had gotten our money.
So the fund, the taxation aid fund is so it's a specific clause in state law that allows us to essentially on tax bills give people an option to donate money.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it started. So the idea is you'd have your tax bill, there'd be an option that says, add $10 to the taxation aid fund or whatever it be, and you could check a box. So that's how it started, was that the money would come in from individual donors, and then that could be used to defer the tax bills for seniors and disabled. But what happened was COVID. So this committee was created at the beginning of 2022, the end of 2020 into 2021. And so our original thought was that we would be getting money from people who would donate online or with their tax bill or in other ways. And then that money would be the only money that we would have to distribute to applicants. But COVID happened, ARPA happened, and so we are getting through the town. We're getting $250,000 over 2.5 years to distribute, but that will end. Next fiscal year will be the last time we can do that. So at the end of fiscal year 2024, there will be no more government money either from the state or from the federal government or from the town of Easton. So we'll be on our own unless something else changes. But the idea that we all had was that we would continue to try and raise money and not spend it, and that way when the ARPA funds ended, we would have a balance that we could use. So we were kind of using this time to build the fund. So that's the recap, and I told you my general idea, and I just wanted to see if anybody else had any ideas. If not, we can move on.
Well, can we piggyback off another event, like the children's races in the summertime? Or any one of the other town-sponsored events?
Yeah, I would like that. I just don't know. I don't know
Well,
well.
we'd have to get in touch with the recreation department and see if we could, either sponsor one of them. Where all they do is they give out freeze pops, ice pops and water, I think. And in return we could, ask for a donation. Ray, like Ray, I belong to the Easton Lions Club. I mean, we could certainly go to them. They're pretty philanthropic. They give a lot of money to a lot of different causes. We could, approach the board and ask for a donation from the Lions Club.
So that is the one thing that we are not, I remember from when we started, we're not supposed to do is approach any one group directly soliciting funds, but we can do it in a way that's open to the public, and if they're aware of it, then they can contribute, kind of thing, right?
Okay.
On their own.
Yeah.
Megan, as you know, in the Lions Club, we have a number of fundraisers, but it takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I'm trying to piggyback.
We're what, 7 people on a committee?
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, hosting a fundraiser is a ton. I feel it's too much work. I mean, it's a lot of work. So my thought is to piggyback off of a town event, or, have a booth at the sheep pasture in the fall, giving out information, things that, the town is somewhat I mean, I don't even know how the sheep pasture really works, that fall festival, but, putting up a booth there. And
that would be my preference to start too, is if there's something existing.
Right,
That would be one to work us in the pool. I would agree.
I mean, there's those, Oak Ames Hall concert things in the summertime, but again, I don't know if that's really a town-sponsored event. I think that's sponsored by the Historical Commission. I mean, they're still, or Oak Ames, I'm not quite sure, but those summer concert events are heavily attended, at least the few that I've been to. We could certainly, put a booth there if that's possible. I don't want to, break any laws in regards to any of that stuff. So, Corey, what are your thoughts on it? Do you have any thoughts on it? I mean, what?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends.
I mean, not like, but like, is there some sort of legal ramifications to that? Is it, is that something that we can really do, or is it against the law, or is it frowned upon? Anything like that? If you
once we figure out,
you too, Linda.
Once we figure out what the event or fundraiser would be, I think we could then get a clear answer on whether it's okay or not. I think what Andrew's saying is a good way to kind of go about it. I mean, my fundraising I have a Veterans Discretionary Fund and the Serve Fund, which are two public funds, and I don't ever. I mean, I get people who are like, well, what's a good place to donate? And I'll say, well, there's this place, this fund, this thing, and it kind of just gives them a few options. There's no pressure about it, and I know that's okay. Yeah, I think what what Andrew said about if we have this open to the public opportunity, making people aware of it, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that's the only. I think that's the only line we need to be aware of is keeping it open to the public, whatever it is. So like, we're asking the public, we're not asking a specific group of people. So if there's a public event like a summer concert, I think that's fantastic. So that's public, right? So we would be there. We wouldn't be soliciting. We would just be, I mean,
inviting them to.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be like, I think the only thing we just need to avoid doing is going to a certain business or a certain person and saying, can you please donate? Like that's really what we need to avoid doing.
Right, I mean, I wasn't asking to, I was just trying to piggyback maybe off of some of the Lions Club events that they have.
Right. I get it. It's
Not asking directly the Lions Club to donate.
Right, no, that is right, you just have to keep it public.
okay.
So
So
just basic, so just on a word of mouth thing, put out a request, anybody would like to donate to the taxation committee,
Mhm.
put that in a memo or something or
Yep.
whatever.
Well, we can put a flyer in the excise tax bills like we did last year that encourages people to donate to the taxation aid committee with a little explanation of what it is.
Definitely have to put something in there.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
we'll do that for sure. And I think if anybody has, and I love Megan's ideas. If anybody has existing events in the town that they can think of that might be an opportunity for us to get involved in, send them to me or send them to the committee, and I can reach out on behalf of the committee and see if they'd be willing to, let us get involved in some shape or form, or if I think a summer concerts may be a good idea where we could do something like that. So yeah, this was just really to get everybody's wheels turning, because I think the reality is that we got a fair amount of money from that first year because we were brand new. And people are aware of it, and then now maybe it's tapering off a little bit.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so that unless anybody has any other thoughts on that, we can get to the real business at hand.
Okay.
Okay, so the next item is to enter executive session to discuss applicants, and these are the applicants that we asked for more information on. So I move that we enter executive session in accordance with Purpose 7, the right to privacy under GL 214(1)B, based on the application material being discussed involving personal financial information. The committee does not intend to return to public session.
I second.
Okay. Megan,
Megan Ferguson, yes, aye.
Andrew Fleischer, yes. Cometta,
Later, yes.
Ray Morrell, yes.
Linda Hawks, yes.
all right. So Corey, it's on the same login for me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So everybody just click the executive session link that I emailed out. It's right under the regular session. Does anyone else need to get that, or?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, where is that under the,
So do you remember the email that you got this link from, Ray?
yes,
So it's on the same line, it's the second line, it's the line below that. It says, use this link for executive session.
okay, I made a copy of what you had sent for the meeting, but I didn't keep the link on the phone. So I probably don't have that.
What do you do? You write it down?
I have copied on a copy machine, what you sent for this meeting. Let me keep looking here.
What did you print out?
What we were just talking about, the agenda, and print that out with the taxation Zoom meetings numbers. Okay, I see the phone numbers under the web bar.
Yeah, make sure you don't say any of those numbers out loud, please.
I will not.
So there was an email I sent. It said, here are the minutes to review, and here's the link for the meetings. Do you remember?
I got some.
Are you
more
on
paper
your
right here.
phone or are you on your phone or on a computer right now, Ray?
Andrew, you asking me, Ray?
Yeah, sorry, are you?
No, everything that Corey sent me, I have in paper form, so I'm
I mean,
looking
how are you joining us presently?
through the web bar by reason,
You're using your computer.
no, not an iPhone, an iPad.
So if I email you the link, can you get it on your iPad and open it?
No, send it to my phone.
Okay.
Email though, or,
Corey has my phone. I just called him shortly.
oh, so do you want me to call you and, I don't know.
Yeah, you,
I can
You want
text,
to
I
do
think
that?
I have your phone as well. Corey, could you text the link and see if that
Yeah.
works?
Will you receive a text, Ray?
yes, I will.
Okay, I'm gonna text you and I'll call you, to make sure you get on, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna call you in 1 minute.
All right, I gotta drop off this meeting to open the other one, so.
Okay, see
We'll
you,
end it here.
see you on the other side, guys.
All right.